Hello, hello. I just took these off the stove and I was going to do the separating process and thought, oh, well, let's go for it. Give you a time out from all your sales. I used a few new plants. So I thought we'll see if they work. If they don't work, never too sure what's going on. Some of these, I hope Elaine shows up. Some of these Elaine sent me. So it'll be interesting to see if they worked or not. But here we go. I used a variety of papers. I used just regular copy paper. I used mixed media paper and a couple of file folders. That's pretty much the papers that are used. And then as I remember what the plants are, then I'll let you know what those are. Some of them I'll remember. Some of them I probably won't. But here we go. Oh, and in the water, I put a couple of rusty bits and a handful of dry hibiscus. So here we go. Here we go. And it's a nice warm day. So when I put these outside, well, this was just, there's this lady. Oh, I don't remember her name. She does eco printing, but she does it with dyes. And she uses these same kind of grates like I do, but she hates those prints and she throws those away. And those are my favorite prints. The part with the grate. I wish I knew where she lived. I'd go to her trash and, you know, I go to her trash and take all of those that she says she can't stand because those are my favorite parts. Okay, so this one that I'm taking off of right now is the manila folder. And I'm just setting the leaves on other pieces of paper that have already all been kind of messed up. And then I just build up my grungy pile that way. So I get kind of like the double whammy. I need to open this way so you can see. So these are my hydrangea leaves. Now these were, I froze these and I usually remember, but now my memory is getting so bad and I have such a variety of plants. I'm going to have to start putting in a little note in there to remind me what they were. Well, I don't know what these were, but they didn't do nothing. So, And then it depends also what they're on. If it had been on regular paper, sometimes they do stuff and sometimes they don't do anything on the manila. So that's why when people will ask me sometimes the recipe or how you do that, or, I don't even bother anymore because, we don't use the same papers. We don't use the same waters. We don't use the same plants. My standard answer now is start a recipe book. Just do it. Don't ask me, do you think that'll work? I'm going to say, I don't know, because I don't know your water content. I don't know your soil content. I don't know nothing. I don't know what paper you're going to use. So I would say, just do it. And then start your little recipe book and say, oops, this works. That doesn't work. Because that's what I've had to do. All right. So now in this lovely grouping of leaves that Elaine sent me. Is she here yet? No, she's not here. Some of them she wrote down the names of what they were, and then There was a group of leaves that was like a, you know, like several different types of leaves. So I don't know what those were. She may or may not remember. She sent this to me a while back. I threw them in the freezer until I had time to use them. But these are part of the ones that were all different kinds. As you can see here, they're all different types. So I'm not sure what they were, but they all did do some printing for sure. So she might know what those were, the ones that she didn't put names for. And she doesn't live too far from me, so we probably, you know, I probably could get a lot of the stuff that she has if I had to go hunt it down. Lately, I've just been using what's in my yard or what I froze, you know, from last fall. And it's already going to be fall again pretty soon before you know it. So I figure, oops, I better defrost my fall stuff and use them so I can make room for my new batch. And if you haven't done this before, you know, I take them apart when they're hot. So, you know, like I can feel the heat coming off of there. It just, I mean, I just took them out of boiling water. So you have to be kind of gentle with the paper because, you know, it's not only wet, but it's hot and wet. So sometimes I tear them, sometimes I don't. Anyway, look at all that yumminess. And then after I go through all this, then I have this little, you know, those fold up kind of racks that you can dry your clothing indoors. I have a couple of those and I hang these on that and then I put them outside. And it's warm today, so it'll dry pretty fast. Ooh, I like how that looks. It'll dry pretty fast. Doesn't look like these have much color. They aren't releasing really any colors so far. Which is okay. Everything doesn't have to be, you know, bright and out there. And give me a second, guys, because I know I haven't looked up. I didn't get Susan on here with me because I got a notification. I don't have much time. I can't believe where this month went. It seems like I just got notification that I was up on my time for the month. And I just got another notification. So give me a second. I'll look up. I'll answer all your questions. Okay. Well, it looks like everything's just going to be the proverbial yellow. We'll see when we get down to the other ones. This is the ones we're looking at right now were the ones that were kind of all thrown together. And then there's a few pages further in where she had the name of the plant and I wrote it on the paper so I don't have to rely on my memory. And we'll see if they're any different. This is mixed media paper here. The other ones were just copy paper. Okay, let me look up for a second because I might get behind on questions. Let's see. Hello, 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 hello. Oh, Susan's in her garage. I'm very happy about that. That means they're working on that. Vicky's busy. You freeze leaves. Yes, I do. Because my papers are a good seller in my Etsy shop, so I want to make sure that I have papers year round. And so when I find plants that I really like how they print, I get them and I put them in paper bags, and then I put them in my freezer. Right now, my freezer here in my studio is full of leaves and a little bit of ice cubes. Mina, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't add. On this particular time, a few of the leaves were soaked in a little bit of alum, but not all of them. And I really never do the same thing twice when I'm, doing this. So the answer is sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Woohoo, look at that. Yeah, make sure when you freeze your plants, at least I do. I put them in the paper bag because then it's going to soak up the condensation, because you're going to get freezer burn and stuff like that. But if it builds up in the inside the plastic, I mean, just like with your meats and things like that, and I leave them in there for quite a while, over several months. I leave the leaves in there. And then that way also, when you take them out to defrost them, if you had them in a plastic bag, then all that condensation would get all your leaves all wet and a mess. This way, if you take them out and you just leave them in the paper bag will absorb a lot of that moisture, and it's easier for you to work with your leaves. Okay, this is still the mixture of the leaves. We're still on those pages. And I'm not sure what these are. I saved some because some of them are really like flat and dry, and they're really cool looking. So I'm going to use them, with something else as a dried flower, because I like the shape of these. I'm not sure what these were. They look like they're in the, what do you call that plant? I got oodles of them outside. I tell you, I'm losing my brain. I'm always at a loss for words, like, And it's not just when I'm on here trying to talk to you guys. It's like in everyday life. I go to try to tell my husband something, and he starts pounding his foot like a horse can count. He starts pounding like, does it sound like? And then he'll pound on. I go, shut up, leave me alone. Oh. No, they weren't lantanas. These were, it looks like in the crepe myrtle family. Because there's such a wide variety of crepe myrtles, and I have one that shoots out these little things like that. Woohoo! Okay, we're still doing the unidentified plants. This is a mixed media paper. And then that dark around the edge is the little bit of hibiscus that I put in there. I didn't put a lot, so it didn't bleed into it. It just soaked it up on the edges. So I guess I could have done without it. The weight of the paper, I'll have to double check. This is mixed media. I'm not sure what weight it is, but I'm going to tell you the truth. My favorite, I have two favorites. To use is the, what is that, 20, hold on, let me look. 24-pound copy paper. I love how that prints. It's one of my favorite, and it's obviously the cheapest. And then the mixed media one, let's see, what do I got here? Wait one little second. It's around the other table. Around 1 second. This particular mixed media is 110 pounds. Now I also like the paper that's made for printing, you know, like ink printing and block printing. I like how it also prints. It's pricey, and for that, well, if you were just doing it for yourself, the price may not matter. But because I sell it, if I buy 20 sheets of paper for 20 bucks, I can't make any money selling the prints because I don't want to charge a lot of money. So I'd be like making zero. Ooh, look how cool that came out. That was sort of like that beady little part of that plant. So, for my personal use, I like to use the printer. What do you call it? Well, I'll get it for you in a second. Print paper, designated for printing, but not to sell because, I can't. I'm in the hole if I go to sell it and try to sell at a reasonable price. I'm losing money. So. Woohoo! Still a little warm down here. Okay, let me look up. Can you see? I didn't use any of the. I didn't do this with a butterfly pea at all. Okay, so those are still the ones we don't know what they are. So sorry about that. No info. I already have a batch put together. I should have put them on the stove before I went live. I already have a big batch put together that I have to boil. I'll put that in after I'm done here. I don't know what that is, but it came out green. It's that right there. So, or something underneath it. Sometimes you never know where the color comes from. No, it came, whoa, it came from that. Now, totally nondescript. I don't know what the heck that leaf is. Let's see if we can identify it once it dries. We'll put that right there. And that green went all the way through. Lots of pigment on that little leaf. Yes, Vicky, exactly. You got it. Then on some of these, because I didn't want them to bleed into each other, so I want to see the real color of the plant, I just put a piece of copy paper in between, which always is good for, grunge paper. Okay, so now see all this? I don't know. I have a lot of these left that were still, dry. And see, they didn't do anything. And I think this is part of the crepe myrtle, which is kind of odd because my crepe myrtle leaves all print something, and these didn't print anything. That's very unusual. Yeah. Very, very odd. Yeah, I didn't do it on either side. Sometimes, the back side prints and the other doesn't. So that didn't do anything. Well, and I have quite a few pages with that, so that's a disappointment. I'll probably like pages like this when they come out like that, and it's with good paper, I just print over them. So I'll put these back in another batch, so it's not a waste. I don't want to waste my paper because paper is not cheap. So I'll just print over these. Wow, Darlene, I'm shocked you got it. I'm so happy. Wow, that is fast. That's fast for even here. There's some people's just dragging. Excellent. Well, we got some green going on there. I'm not sure again what caused that. That was here. That's bleeding from underneath. That's not from any of these. So let's see what's underneath there. It's probably a lot more of these leaves that we don't know what they are. Yeah, see that? That's underneath. That's not from this plant. Now see, there's not even leaves here. It's bleeding through several pages. That's how strong that those leaves are. Okay. So, what was that? It's this right here. Okay, so what I do when I get a plant like that, when you have something that prints that dark, that means there's still a lot of pigment in there, and I use them again. I will take them right out that wasn't part of that. I take them right out and I use them in another batch. So don't be shy about recycling. If something works, keep using it until all the pigment's out of there and it doesn't die anymore for you. Okay. See, there's some more of that plant. Look at that, how pretty. I like that green. Lay these on top, another piece in between pieces of paper so it can dry. Be easier for me to reuse it. Give me a second. I'll look up in a minute, catch up with the comments. Okie dokie. There's a few little pieces left, but they're kind of stuck and it's pretty wet. I don't want to tear the paper if I don't have to. Let's see that. Lots of green in that one. Okay, let me look up. Uh-oh. CJ's going to have me stockpiling paper now. What kind of paper temperature? What kind of water temperature? I bring the water to a boil. As soon as it comes to a boil, I lower it to a simmer. Temperature, I have no idea. Well, that's kind of strange looking right there. Oh, I didn't want to save those. I just want the green ones. What am I doing? I'm distracting myself. Okay, let's get back on track now. I like how that prints. That's pretty cool. That is this plant. I don't know what that was. We'll dry it and we'll find out. Can usually identify it a little bit better when it's dry, instead of being all gushy. All right, I put CM. This is crepe myrtle. This right here, I have a little notation. So this here is crepe myrtle. Now the crepe myrtle I have is a different kind. My leaves are way, way bigger. So she has a different variety. But, so that's what that was. And, oh my, look how pretty. She has two different kinds of crepe myrtles because this was also marked as a crepe myrtle. My crepe myrtle does not do this. I have several in my yard. Okay, I know what I'm going to be asking her for. So that's a perfect example when you ask me what plant did you use and you think you're going to duplicate what I did. Well, I have oodles of crepe myrtles in my yard and not one of them print like this. So if I tell you don't bother using your crepe myrtles because they don't print, well, what good does that do you? Because you may have this other variety that Elaine has and look how beautiful it prints. That's why I say don't do as I do, just go do and start your own recipe book. That's the only way you're going to know what works in your area and in your yard. This is a perfect example. I don't know what these were. Oh, now see these are that other variety of crepe myrtle. Now see, that big green thing is a crepe myrtle, and this is a different kind of crepe myrtle. I don't have either one of these crepe myrtles. Mine are completely different. And I have like about 4 different varieties in my yard. So it's kind of odd that out of all, oh, wait a second. Now this says azalea. Uh-oh. Hold the phone. One of these is azalea. So maybe, because I didn't have, maybe this is the azalea. Yeah, that does look like azalea. Okay, guys, if you have an azalea bush, go print it. Azaleas and crepe myrtles. Test them all and see which ones work. Yep. I don't have any azaleas, so. I used to until the gopher ate them. Killed them all. And that was before I did my printing, so. That's just the back of this one. I don't think there was a name on this one. We'll just call that a leaf. It's just a leaf. And this, I'm guessing, is the azalea. That looks like the same leaf. Maybe yes, maybe no. Hold on. I mean, I used to be, I'm not good at it now, but I used to be even worse of identifying. Okay, yeah, these are the same. Identifying like materials when it came to plants and leaves. Okay. So far, azalea seems to be a winner. Yeah, I marked it azalea. So that's what this was right here. Azalea. Okay, just read your notes, Rosemary. You'll be okay. And I don't know what these were. I don't think these had a name. And these were oak. These 3 leaves are oak leaves. Very pretty. I don't have any oaks around me. And then I put my hydrangea leaf on here. Sop up some of this water. Whoa, lots of water, lots of water. Now see how weird? The hydrangea leaves printed on my other papers, but for whatever reason it didn't print on this. Now I've printed before on manila folders and it prints really cool. This manila folder, for whatever reason, because you know all manila folders are not equal. You know, there's different manufacturers and they make them, you know, different types of papers and different process. So there again, I could say, oh, you know, you can't go wrong using a manila folder. Well, you can. It depends on the who makes them. And I don't know who made any of these because I just buy them at, you know, secondhand stores. So I just grab them and don't know what I'm grabbing. Anyway, so I think, well, I think at least I learned quite a few things from this. And I hope that you guys as beginners, you know, you can get a few tips from this. But I did learn that the, all crepe myrtles are not created equally. So use all the varieties you can get a hold of to see how they print. And that the oak tree, I knew the oak tree would do pretty good because I've seen some people work with the oak tree. And then what was the other thing? What was the other thing I learned? I already forgot. Oh, the azaleas. Grab the azaleas. Now, I don't have any, but our town, for some reason, it's like every other house has these big, beautiful azalea bushes. So, you know, I'm just going to have to go make friends with somebody that has these bushes and see if their particular bush prints. And if it does, hello, then we're going to become best buds. Okay, ladies. Oh, Rosary had. Jen, I have not used the Yarrows, but they print beautifully. At least the ones of people that I've seen that have used them, they print really, really pretty. I just don't have access to it. I should throw some. Every year I see I'm going to throw a bunch of like wildflower seeds off into this one area. And I don't know why I just don't do it. But I think what I'm going to do next spring is the section that I have sectioned off between my house and the studio. I have a fence put up so that the dogs can't get in because, you know, it's sort of like my little bunny retreat in there. That's where all the little bunnies congregate. And there are some patches of lawn in there that my husband mows. So I think next year I am just going to, in the springtime, I'm going to throw a bunch of wildflower seeds there and just mow a path, you know, to walk from one section to the next and let the rest just go, you know, wild and see what happens. And worst that can happen, I don't like it, we just chop it down and mow it, right? You know, because it's not real lawn anyway. It's just mowed weeds that looks green when we mow it. You know, some of you guys have those kinds of yards too. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some of those that are meant for sun and for shade, because I have several trees in that little area also. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and just see what happens. You know, what's the worst that can happen? Have pretty little flowers, have your little butterflies swarming all over the place, and have some fun. Okay. Oh, excellent, Jen. You should use them. It'll work. They'll work really nicely. All right, ladies. I am going to go see if my husband is ready for some food. And I'm going to put the other batch on the stove that I already have bundled up. If I am in the mood, maybe when those are for a reveal, I'll show them to you. They are completely different plants, none of the ones that I'm using right now. So I might come back later and show you those. Alrighty? Okay, thanks a lot for keeping me company. Talk to you guys later.